Hey, Crawlspacers, welcome to an ASM show. Let's see who we've got on the panel. We've got Josh. What's going on, Josh?
Hello, hello. It's good to be here.
Greetings, greetings. Are you ready for 2 issues of Gang Wars, sir?
No.
Okay. You're getting them anyway, kid. And we have Christina. Are you ready for 2 issues of Gang War?
Let's wrap this up, baby.
Yeah. Pretend it's a Christmas present, shove it under the tree. Yeah, let's do it. And then shove it out the door. And speaking of someone that likes doors, JR, what's going on?
Well, I've been searching the web for any announcement of Madam Web 2 that's surely supposed to be coming any time now, but I haven't seen any yet. I mean, surely they're going to make a sequel, considering how successful that movie was.
What would it be called? Madam Web 2 what? Electric Boogaloo? Or what would it be called? JR, go ahead.
You got me there. I don't
Madam
know.
Web 2 more webs?
I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought that far ahead.
Josh, Madam Web 2 what?
Why?
Christina, Madam Web 2 what?
Oh, no clue.
That was the first one, actually. Yeah, Madam Web, no clue. She never does. She never sees it. Even the audience didn't see her being disabled at the end of the film. Well, sorry, JR. Spoiler.
My audience actually laughed when she showed up in the wheelchair. My whole audience just burst out laughing.
I tilted my head like my old beagle used to do. One. Madam 2, Web of Woe. Here it is. 2 Madam, 2 Web. Madam's Web, it says Hornacek. There you go.
Oh, boy.
There you go. That's good. Mary is glad to see JR, not the rest of us. All right, Mary, what's going on?
Well, Mary, glad to hear from you as well.
We got Mr. Comics in the house. Gang War was great. Well, we're about to discuss Gang War. Mr. Comics, we've got 2 issues that we're going to.
He couldn't have been serious. Of course, Mr. Comics is a fun-loving guy with a strong sense of sarcasm. He wasn't serious.
He was. Web of Wow. Wait, wasn't that a Power Rangers episode? Probably. It was probably better than Madam Web. All right, we have Josh tackling us. I mean, he's not going to physically tackle us, but he's going to tackle this book. ASM 937.
Yes.
We've got the classic, all the heroes on one side. We've got all the villains on one side. We're about to have a battle royale. And
I was shocked because I typically do the issue after JR, but I'm going first this time. So
you're leading.
I think that means that you like me more than JR, but don't worry, JR, you're still my favorite.
Well, I'm Brad likes some, I'm getting too old for Brad. Brad likes to hang around young people.
Okay.
You are too old. And yes, I like Josh better. All facts. Now spit some more, Josh.
All right. So this is issue number 43 or number 937. Yep. We have a typical standoff between our heroes versus the 5 ferocious females of fear plus Digger. So we start off with Spider-Man visiting Randy in the hospital, which as I'm sure a lot of other people actually forgot was Spider-Man's main motivation for this in the first place.
You mean after 50 issues, they didn't mention this?
Like it's just so much has happened in this whole thing that it's so hard to remember why we're in this thing. But regardless, he says he's going to stop the war from him. And Randy's dad comes in and he says, that's nice, but, get it done. So Spidey joins the other heroes and Tombstone up on the building and saying he's ready for war. So we cut to standoff between Madam Mask's team and Beetle's crew. Mask says she'll pay them to stay down, but Beetle says that they're starter villains and don't really have a lot of overhead, so pass. Which, I mean, yeah, come to think of it, there's not a lot of, classic Spidey villains. A couple knockoffs, but a lot of, C-listers in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, you got the White Rabbit there.
White Rabbits and Scorpion knockoff, Doc Ock
knockoff, was probably
knockoff.
Silvermane's maybe a B-, probably a C.
Yeah, so... But anywho, Mask whispers to Silverman and Count Nefaria, Malaki Tai? Does anyone know what this means or what language this is?
Yeah, it's a Perry Como song around Christmas. Maliki Laki Laka is the song you sing.
Oh, boy. Well,
Merry Christmas.
I thought I would try to actually do research on this. So,
all right. Like a tie.
Right. So, Madam Mask is Italian. Google Translate did not recognize this as Italian, though. It did recognize it as Greek. Apparently, especially if you write it in all caps, Malakatai means soft yes. I don't know what that means. MomJunction.com says Malaki is Hebrew for messenger of God. WordHippo.com says Malaki means my guardian angel.
Wait a minute. Wordhippo.com? That's
WordHippo.com.
not been there before.
I went to very reputable sources for this. And Tai is Chinese, apparently, which means extremely. So I like to think it's a big mix of all that. And it's really funny when Count Nefaria and Silvermane both repeat it, then running into battle screaming, extremely soft.
Here you go. Let's take a look at that. Extremely soft.
Oh,
Don't want to yell that in a crowd. People might think about different things about you.
So we get into this big fight. The villains all start fighting. Mass fights with Beetle. Then it comes and in comes She-Hulk, who bursts through dozens of Jason statements and destroys all the. Oh, I'm so glad people got that. Pummels through all the Jason statements, and she comes, and all the heroes join the party. Now, Spidey attempts to give a speech to his troops. Doesn't really hold a candle to Optimus Prime, though. Spider-Woman jumps in and has had a bad day in her spin-off verse, but doesn't think violence is the answer. It's the question, and the answer is yes. Miles fights Rabble. Does anyone know who Rabble is? I haven't read Miles' books. Who's Rabble?
Rabble. I'm trying to see the image that you're talking about. What page are you on? Well, looks over. Hold on.
It's right when She-Hulk barges in. It's like 2 pages later.
Okay, 2 pages after She-Hulk barges in.
I think.
I don't see a Rabble.
I know who Rabble is.
Who's Rabble?
Who's Rabble?
Rabble, remember, she's the one that was getting all of the weapons from the Hobgoblin in the Miles comics, and she's also jealous of Miles because she got kicked out of school and he ended up getting her place instead and stuff. So that's who she is.
That is right. She lost the spot in his school, and that's her motivation.
I thought it was like Jango Fett. Like it just bounty hunter. So Miles fights Rabble, and Tombstone fights Shotgun. Spidey hops around and comes to fight the Mask, and actually starts off pretty strong. He comes in, he says, "My city is on fire because of a war you started." He dramatically looks up into the camera. "I could lose my friend." He webs her hands. "I won't let you profit for it." And the web hits, and he swings her device thingy off. "So I'm taking more than my fill. I'm taking everything." Then we cut to Miles, who's using his Venom Saber against a bunch of mini drones from Rabble, which kind of reminded me, did anyone play Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, where like you got to like fight each other? And actually Jango Fett, you would like shoot little missiles like that at you, and then you'd use the Force. Like, anyways, he's got like a Venom Saber. It reminds me of a light Jedi.
Yes.
It does look like a lightsaber. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So anywho, kind of looks like a Jedi. Daredevil fights Silvermane and breaks her blades on adamantium armor because, of course, everything is made of adamantium now. Tombstone hits Shotgun so hard that the sigil breaks that MetaMask had on him, and he turns into Jensen Walker, the government agent. He says the government is concerned with what was becoming of his daughter, not Tombstone. So Tombstone knocks him out. White Rabbit says that they should help Tombstone, but the daddy issues are too strong for Beetle, and she says no. Spidey, amazingly for a change, actually knocks out Owl just with one punch after.
Boom! Crack!
Yeah, knocks him out with one punch after Mask said Tilik Sa, which, again, for those curious, Tilik Sa is apparently Arabic for telex. What's telex? Well, I'm glad you asked. Telex is a telecommunication service which provides test-based message exchange over the circuits of the public switch telephone network or by private lines. The technology operates on switch station-to-station basis with teleprinter devices at the receiving and sending locations. Telex was a major method of sending written messages electronically between businesses in the post-World War II period. Its usage went into decline as the fax machine grew into popularity in the 1980s. Does this mean anything? Probably not, but hey, we can't all be spider history, so I had to think of something.
Tilak Slaw. I mean, Saw. Tilak Saw. Tilak Saw.
I just thought he was saying the other thing with an accent, but no.
Who knows, man?
So, everyone's fighting. More people come in to fight. It's a whole thing. But Beetle hangs back and has a chat.
Big
with
old
her dad.
fight scene. There you go.
Massive fight scene. Beetle comes to talk with her dad. He says he doesn't want her to turn into him, but Beetle doesn't care what she thinks. She's not a little girl anymore. That girl's long gone. But Tombstone shows her why the Spectacular Spider-Man show referred to him as the big man and quite literally clips her rings. And I actually looked up the term for this. He rabbit punches her, which is a punch right to the back of the skull.
Oh, well, hold on. Let's take a look at this rabbit punch. Ooh, that's mean.
Thud. Rabbit punches his own daughter, knocks her out, saying there needs to be a monster to keep everything in order of what is won in this gang war, and it's going to be him. To be continued.
Okay, there you go. There's Dad laying down some discipline, evidently.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Josh, what do you got for a grade, sir?
I'm gonna go with the C+.
C+. Christina, what's your grade?
I gave it a C-.
Yeah, JR?
D+.
D+. C- for me also. Not much going on. It's just action figures fighting. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Josh, what's your pro on this one?
Pros, it was nice to finally see Spider-Man competent for a change. I really like he knocks Owl out with one, like, I don't know the whole history of Owl, but like he's no threat compared to like, any one of the more bigger superpowered villains. So Spider-Man should be able to knock him out with one punch, and he does. That I really like that they showed there. And his opening speech is a little iffy, but the one where he starts fighting Mask with, he's like, I could lose my friend. I won't let you profit over it. And he's like actually kicking some butt for a change. I really like that. That was good.
JR, what's your pros? What'd you like?
Well, I think my pro is that I think Spider-Man was actually in 8 of the 20 pages with art on him, as opposed to the prior issue where I think he was just in 6. So that's an improvement. He's in slightly more than 1/3 of the book called Amazing Spider-Man. So hey, bully for Marvel.
Who's good with math? Josh, are you good with math?
Sure.
Okay, $5.
Yep.
Can we take $5? And for 20 pages, he's in 8 of them. So how much did we pay to see Spider-Man?
He's in 8. Hold on.
He's in 8 pages out of 20.
Yeah. So 8 divided by 20 times 5 is 2 of our $5. $2 is going towards Spider-Man. $3 is everything else.
There you go, JR. Did you get your $2 worth?
Not even that. Yeah, and it's like I don't know if comics are 22 pages a story anymore, but I notice that conveniently we keep losing a page to that stupid ass map.
I know.
Yeah,
and then like the title and the last issue was like stretched over 2 pages. I mean,
JR, look at this.
It's like
we
the
lost
readers
1 page. And this is a 2-pager.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that need to be a 2-pager?
Well, that's like the Reader's Digest for old people version. It's like, okay, I can finally read it now. Oh.
Of the 20, I think it's 21 pages. 3 of them are this kind of stuff. Can't you shrink that? Put the map over here if you really want to, and put the text here and then here. And so there's not so much wasted space. This is $5, people.
I'm going to argue on that, Brad. That would require them to write more story. We've already stretched this out for 25 different issues.
Oh,
that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
Christina, what's a pro out of you?
I actually really liked those first few pages with him and Randy and then Robbie coming in later, like Josh said, make us not forget that it's there. And then I really like that the last few pages with Tombstone and Janice and their conversation, and then him knocking her out with a rabbit punch and stuff, and where that goes and stuff. So I really like that stuff. So
I agree. Some of our favorite Spider-Man stuff is where his personal life interferes with his hero life.
Yep.
Robbie and Randy are part of his personal life, and
Yes.
they're affected by his superhero life. We like that. That's why we buy the Amazing Spider-Man. But I agree with you totally. I agree with also, I like the Tombstone line at the end. Somebody's got to be the villain. And I think that's a dad thing to say. I think I'll take the hit. I don't want you to suffer. I think that's kind of a neat thing. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. SoFlo gave it a B. Mr. Comics JR gave it an A.
Mr. Comics, I'm still going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're just trolling us.
No. Upon the Horizon A, C out of Ryan. SoFlo gave it a B, and Ryan Reed says that's the $2 plus tax for Spider-Man. Tevia gave it an F. Upon the Horizon, just a C, not a C minus. The whole event is a C. Nothing about the event made me mad like Dark Web. At least there was a consistency in the story, even though it did end up meh.
Yeah.
What else we got? Anybody else got it? No, I gave it a V. No, you gave it a C. What are we, cheerleaders here? Upon the Horizon? Give me an A. Give me a B. Give me a C. Anyway. All right. Let's see. Those last pages are a blessing. It means that Zeb Wells you have to read. Less Zeb Wells you have to read. Oh, that's not. But you know. Josh, let's hear your con, sir.
I think it's exactly what you said. It is. I dumped out all my action figures and made them fight each other.
I know, right?
Like, you know, there are times where you can actually make a fight scene like story progress wise, and some of them are actually really interesting to like just watch the different artwork in that. Yeah. This isn't really one of it. You know, like there's so much when I was writing this review, just going like, okay, and then She-Hulk fights this person, and then Miles stands off against Rabble, and then Tombstone punches Shotgun. Like, it's just kind of like, all right, these guys fight, and we just keep doing that. So I don't know, it's a little spinning in its wheels for me.
I agree. It's one thing comics has an advantage of is it can do a lot of, when people fight, they generally don't monologue or talk.
Yeah.
Comics, you can put a thought balloon over someone and you can advance the storyline with a punch. This is just like, let's see, Hulk smash and Spider-Man. You know, it's just this. JR, cons out of you, sir?
Well, somebody might have said this in an earlier show because for some reason it seems familiar to me, but it's like there's just no sense of scale in the story that it's a big event. You know, Spider-Man says my city is on fire because of what you've done. I don't see any fire. I don't see the rest of the city. I don't see anything else going on. All I see is the world within, you know, Spider-Man's eyesight, basically. I mean, I see absolutely no indication. I mean, the cops aren't involved. The National Guard's not involved. The military's not involved. Nobody cares. This humongous group of dangerous people have aggregated in one place and are fighting, which could lead to untold collateral damage. None of that. So, you know, for a gang war, it's you know, not very far reaching. I mean, it certainly doesn't seem so. It didn't seem that way.
No, so it seems, I mean,
it's very pedestrian.
This is a problem with Marvel's events. It has been for years. And I'm trying to pull up this image so I can show it to you. Well, if I can find the checklist, let's take a look at this. The gang war checklist in reading order. Let me see if I can find this image. Nope, that's not it. But JR, the things that you mentioned are allegedly, well, hell, it took me to my own website. Now that's that is funny. Okay. It took me to Craig's review. Okay, open image in new tab. Okay. I'm going to remove this and then present my own website. There you go. JR, if you want to find out how it affects the city, you got to buy this stuff. You got to spend more money, man. You got to pay to play. So if you want to see how it affects the city, I read some of these, but that's how they tell it.
You know, it's funny because I'm going to make fun of Secret Wars later on, but I mean, Secret Wars, the big event, you know, one of the biggest events theoretically of Marvel up to that time, lasted 12 issues. Okay, you know, how in the world is there enough story in this to last 40 something?
Now, to
there isn't even remotely enough story.
Countering your argument, I think it started in 1985. Do you remember every issue, little corner box on the side said Secret Wars 2 continues here? Marvel thought, well, you know what? We can spread this over a lot. We can spread this sandwich over a loaf of bread with all this butter. Boy, that's a weird analogy, but they can spread it out. They can spread it out and make a whole bunch of money, allegedly, off of a thing. We've been doing it since 1985 when Secret Wars 2 came out. And here we are, 2024. We're spreading the story 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit 4.5 months.
Yeah, it's sad because like I've read half of these ones, and even still, it doesn't feel the way, like JR was saying, how these events Marvel puts on, they either feel way too huge, like what was it? I guess when we had Secret Wars in 2015, where it was like a big 8-month skip, and you're all of a sudden you're like, oh, Peter Parker has this entire company now. Okay, sure, and he's the next Steve Jobs essentially, where everything's so big it's ridiculous. And then we've been asking for a more street level Spider-Man story, none of this dark web nonsense, so we get one, but it's so dragged out. It's like, my city's on fire. It's like, well, it mostly seems like there's a maybe Central Park needs to clean the lawn. Like it's so like condensed. Even with reading some of the books, so like, yeah, this warehouse is blown up, but and
I think Amazing Spider-Man suffers from it when you spread out the story this wide. Like, how cool, and back in the day, this is what would have happened. We would have had Spider-Man not calling on his amazing friends like Daredevil or Elektra, She-Hulk, and who else was in here? Miles, etc. Wouldn't it have been cool if Spider-Man tried to stop all this himself? And he was not in 8 pages out of 21, like the one here. It spreads so thin, and I understand why Marvel does it. JR, you do too, right? To make money.
Intellectually, I understand it, but from a moral standpoint, I don't.
From a moral, well, they're greedy, and they're a corporation. They have to make money, and print is dying. And they have to round up the troops and say, "Hey, look at this big firework in the sky. Come join." But it's
the more it's reminds me of a story I heard about, like a restaurant which had a really, really good soup, and people would line up, not the soup Nazi or Seinfeld. Okay. Not that, but they would line up to get, this wonderful soup, and the proprietor said, well, look how many people are buying my soup. Why don't I just kind of thin the ingredients out a little bit, and I'll, spread it out, and more people will like it. Well, and that's exactly what he did. And, the people who start eating this, soup that was, spread out thinner than the rest. They watered down. Thank you. Yeah. See, I'm getting senile. I can't even remember the most basic acronym or
your brain's getting watered down.
Yeah. I can't even remember the most basic idioms anymore.
Hi, I'm Brad.
And so people stop, and then people stop going because, what they loved about the soup was really no longer there because it was watered down. And this is the same thing is happening here. You might get, and I've always wondered, I would, of course, now we can't see sales figures anymore, really, can we? I mean, now that, Diamond's lost its monopoly and
it's behind the closed door,
but I just really wonder. I mean, it's one of those things, if they said, yes, this an Amazing Spider-Man Gang War issue sells 3 times as much as a regular Amazing Spider-Man, I'd have to suck it up and say, well, okay, I understand that. But I just don't believe that happens. I mean,
the question is, JR, if it didn't, they wouldn't do it again. I mean, crossovers and this kind of stuff, the big flashbang up in the sky must work still to sell more product than it does to not do it.
I almost wonder if it's not so much that as just because they have so little talent anymore. They have so little creativity anymore, that they create these events to stretch out what few ideas they have over the longest period of time. It's no longer it's no longer like, oh boy, this will be a big selling event. It's more like, well, this at least will take up a lot of months and a lot of paper, and and we'll be able to make all our shipping dates or whatever. I mean, that's kind of what it seems like anymore.
Now, I was complaining about how Gang War is huge and massive. One of my favorite writers recently at Marvel, he wrote the Black Cat series, Jeb McKay. He's writing a great Moon Knight ongoing. And then he started writing the Avengers, which is I'm not digging as much as those other books. But coming this summer, JR, Blood Hunt. If you think Gang War was stretched the hell out, look at this thing. Look at all the crossovers. And I can't even show you those. I forget what those are. But it's even coming to Amazing Spider-Man number 49. It's going to go into there. So May through July, all this, you got 5 issues of Blood Hunt. You got 3 issues of Black Panther, Union Jack, The Blood Hunters, Dracula, Midnight Suns. I actually like those back in the day. You got Amazing Spider-Man Blood Hunt 1 to 3 with Morbius involved. You got Wolverine. You got Strange Academy. They've released these, but I can't remember what they are. You got Venom 2 issues crossed over. You got Miles 2 issues crossed over. You got Amazing crossed over here. Who will bite it? It's your wallet. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I think the other better question is who will buy it?
Who will buy it? JR, why, or Josh, why talk to JR? Josh, Christina, why do they do this?
Money.
Money and it's not for good storytelling.
No, it's just money.
Yeah.
That's the same reason why they do variant covers. It's the same reason why they do new number 1s all the time. It's just a marketing ploy in order to actually get, people that are like, well, if, this person ends up making it into the MCU, well, I'm going to want the number 1 because it's going to be worth more one day. And, it's a number 1. Well, this is a good jumping on start points, but there's so much extra, like there's so many start on points now of like what this is volume 6 now of Amazing Spider-Man.
It's confusing to the average reader. Even if you have Marvel Unlimited, where do I start? Where does it continue? Where does volume 1 end? Where does volume 2 end? Or that's too much work. I give up. I'm going to go watch a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, where does Madam Web start? Where does the sequel start? It doesn't.
It seems it really seems counterproductive. Look what churning out mass quantity did for the MCU on Disney Plus. I mean, just churn it out. And you've given people tons of product, but you've burned your own house down. I mean,
remember 20 years ago when Quesada joined Marvel, he trimmed down the X-Men line. He was like, man, there's too many satellites on this. And now we're 20 years later, and look how many X-Men titles there are. Like, I can't even name all of them. Back in the day, it was X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, and X-Force, maybe. But now, Lord, I don't even know.
Well, it's even worse with the Spider-Man titles. I mean, it's like I was actually at the comic shop today, and it'd been a while since I've been for various reasons, and I'm looking, and of course I see spine-tingling Spider-Man, I see spectacular Spider-Men, and I'm not making any judgment on the quality of these, but it's like, I remember when I collected baseball cards, and I used to enjoy it because there was always the allure that you could get the complete set or you can complete this. And then, of course, they just flooded the market. And so you throw your hands and you give up. And that's kind of like how and at $5 a pop.
Oh, yeah. There's no sampling.
It's insane. It's like, so I buy Amazing Spider-Man and actually I did pick up a couple of the Ultimates. Mary. There
you go. I was we are thinking alike. What is this about? I was about to pop that comment up for you.
The jury is still out on that because they haven't told a story yet. That's.
They're getting there. I mean, they've told 2 stories.
No, they haven't told a story. They've just
what do you mean they haven't told us a story in Ultimate?
They had like a prologue and, chapter 1, but they've not told a story.
See, JR's at the point of how old he is that nothing much excites him anymore. So,
oh my goodness.
Well, it's not just that, Josh, is that I'm so old I may not live to see the end.
Oh,
great. Great. You better get that before issue 10. JR's about to kick it.
I'm going to die. I'm going to die soon.
I'm going to die.
It's kind of like,
oh, man.
But anyway, no, Mary, the jury is still out. I mean, it looks promising. But and I'm actually kind of interested in this Harry Osborn Green Goblin. It looks like he's going to be a hero instead of a villain.
There you go. But, that's a different question about the Green Goblin. I'm sorry. Gary wanted to know what you think of the DeMatteis Shadow of the Green Goblins.
Well, I've heard it's about the proto goblin that appeared.
Wow. It was a -1 issue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a -1 issue. I'm trying to figure it was like the 90s somewhere.
It was.
I mean, I don't know. The only thing is that J.M. DeMatteis is a good writer. Yeah. So he might have an angle on this that might make it interesting. But if it doesn't have a sufficient amount of Norman in it, it's I'm not going to mess with it. But
here, we're going to chat. We're going to get to your questions in between the two issues. I think I left off with JR and cons. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Christina, what was your cons on the issue?
It's pretty much what everybody said. It's the fact that this is just one big fight with your figures and stuff, and so because of that, there wasn't really much story to be told here, and then it just seems like they were in a rush just to get to the last issue finishing up. So
absolutely. And nothing's been said that hasn't been. I can't add anything that hasn't been said so far. I agree with all of it. Let's see. Now we can do chat. Chat has a bunch of random questions for us. In between issues, we'll hit this. What is the best alt story? Alt Peter story, in your opinion, everyone?
Are you talking about like what if stories or alternate universe stories?
Yeah, I guess so. You can do what ifs.
Yeah.
Well, Spider-Girl.
actually Spider-Girl is a very good one. I was thinking of, and I've done this before, there were a couple of what if issues written by Peter Gillis from the first what if. What if Aunt May had died, and what if Spider-Man had never become a crime fighter? Those were the best. Particularly the one with where Uncle Ben lived instead of Aunt May, because that was literally what probably really would have happened. A lot of what if stories are just excuses to kill off people, or do something gruesome or something, or put people together that would. But that one was actually a legitimate story that could have happened, and there could have been done with it. So that's always kind of been my favorite.
What If Volume 1, Issue 46, pencils by Ron Friends, and Peter Gillis on writing. That's a really good one, and it harkens back to what we're seeing in Ultimate Spider-Man at the moment. We got Uncle Ben going to the Bugle, and this is my boy. Why are you picking on him, Jonah? I think that's maybe that was the inspiration Hickman had. Maybe that issue. Christina, you got an alternate Spider-Man that you like? Or Peter?
I was thinking Spider-Man, Spider Shadow. I really like the whole him going really dark with symbiote stuff, because I'm a sucker for that stuff anyway.
Oh, that was mine.
I'm sorry. I was going to originally say Ultimate Spider-Man, the Venom stuff in those issues.
That Spider Shadow was like a few years ago, right?
It was, and it was written by what's his name, who was on since
Chip Zdarsky.
Chip Zdarsky.
That
was a good
where he joins, what if. Yeah. He joins the Fantastic Four at the very end, right? Yeah, yes. That was mine.
Let's see. The new Ultimate Spider-Man comic is far better than the ASM title, as far as I know. It's only got 2 issues printed, says Matt. A lot of people are saying that. I've heard that a lot online. They're saying the quality of Ultimate is far outreaching. Amazing. I don't think Amazing is at a good point at the moment, being stretched out on so much. Let's see. Do you like Paul Jenkins' run on Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man? We've mentioned that a few times, Roy. If you go back, I interviewed Paul, I think at least 2 or 3 times. Go back to the Crawlspace archives. The Uncle Ben taking him to the ball games, one of my favorites. Also, the mime robbers is a funny. What was that called? Nuff Said. All the issues were just art.
The whole month was
funny one. Yeah. And the dog who knows, the neighbor's dog that knows Peter is Spider-Man. I think that's funny. Let's see. A question: how do you feel about Mayday, Parker, Spider-Girl, and Ultimate discovering Peter's identity? JR.
Well, it's
What'd you do if your daughter found out you're a superhero, JR?
Well, it's well, actually, she'd probably be embarrassed. Oh, Dad, you really dress like that? Oh, geez. But it would be stupid if the people closest to you didn't figure it out.
You've said that for years. How Aunt May should know. Aunt May should know.
I mean, it's just, but and his family should know. I mean, because here's the thing: your family's the one at the most risk in case you get found out. Like I always said, Peter should have told Aunt May or Gwen or whatever, so that when Norman Osborn walks up to him, they know to run the hell away. But by keeping everything a secret, you actually put them more in danger because they're not aware that there's danger. So
we got Mike McNulty. Why aren't you on this show, Mike? If you're in chat, come on. You have an invite. He says, I mean, if you need to follow the entire event, Gang War, that's the miniseries, plus 60 different comics, each at $4.99. So that's what, $200 to $300 total. The event really is going to bleed the readers dry. No, the readers aren't going to buy it, Mike, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to spend $200 to $300 for all these titles. And in the long run, I mean, readers are smart in the fact that they know what's fluff. They know that there's not much bone much meat on the bone.
Given that Mike asked the question, I'll dive into a theory on his sake. Yeah. Do you think Marvel uses the events to kind of figure out what books people buy via the event? Like, someone that always buys a Miles book goes, okay, I'll get Miles and there's this event, so I'll get the Amazing Spider-Man as well. And then they're like, okay, we can get rid of Daredevil, no one's buying that. Or we can get rid of Spider-Woman, no one's buying that. Or is it mostly just
they're probably testing the waters. Hey, can a Luke Cage ongoing sell? Can a Elektra Daredevil sell? Can a Deadly Hands of Kung Fu sell?
Yeah. And then it can't? Okay, it's just a miniseries.
It's a mini. How much did it drop from issue 1 to 2? How about issue 2 to 3? Mm-hmm. Without
you mean they don't have 60 years worth of sales history to answer those questions?
I don't know. Let's see. I really want to tell Marvel what to bite, but I'm going to be nice. All right. Thanks, Walter. Well, that'll be a first if you're nice. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Someone in editorial just found out about the Twilight books and films and decided to jump on that vampire bandwagon 15 years too late with Blood Hunt. I'll defend the idea of Gang War even if the execution lacked, but not this. Who wanted this event? Well, we talked about Tevia, Gang War. We talked about we wanted street level stuff. We just didn't want it over 42 blocks of street. We wanted it right down the middle. We wanted one street level, not streets plural,
Yeah, I mean, Tevia, how many, do you like every remake of Fiddler on the Roof that comes along?
How many are now? I see what you did there. Who asked if I want Joe Quesada back? Someone did. The answer is no. Question, Tevia, do you think Blood Hunt event will be even good? Because this event just sounds like hey, yo, we got the F-bomb in there. Okay. What? He wants a cluster waiting to happen. All right. Is it a cluster? I don't know. It'll probably sell.
It's hard to do. Like, what was the event we had a couple years? Maybe the last year, where Gwen Stacy was back as a ghost. Their alien
Judgment
species.
Day.
Yeah.
Is it X-Men?
I have no idea what happened there because it's one issue of Amazing Spider-Man and that was it. Like it's so hard to, Blood Hunt, we're going to get 1, maybe 2 issues of Amazing Spider-Man and then we just move on, right?
Wasn't it the Eternals and the X-Men? I think.
Yeah. Avengers, Eternal, X-Men.
And and through that event, or maybe it was before, there was a Hellfire Gala. And did you see the recent release of the PS2 Spider-Man game, the DLC? They've got the Hellfire Gala suits that you can put on Spider-Man and Miles, which look, some of those DLC suits are just atrocious. But they're trying to make the comics the idea machine so they can sprinkle it throughout other media is what I've seen.
Right, yeah.
And your theory about testing the waters of, hey, if I stick this up against a wall, will it sell? I think is valid. I think they're just trying to spitball things and see, hey, who's going to pick up on it? Oh, hey, the video game company likes your Hellfire Gala suits. We'll go use that idea. The other
Right,
one,
yeah.
dump them in the trash.
I mean, the Blood Hunt literally said there was a bunch of one-shots in it, right? They're testing
exactly.
to see if any of these will work as a continual comic series, and if not, all right, that doesn't work. Next next event, we'll try something else.
Mike says, I came in late. And 2, yes, Josh, I totally agree about the tie-ins. And 3, it's Blood Hunt. That's attempting to bleed the comic readers dry. Gang War, aka Gang Bore, doesn't cost as much. Hey, Mike, yeah.
I also want to point out too. There's also you would get it free on the Marvel Unlimited app anyway. It's already starting to come on, so you wouldn't have to even pay for it. So,
well, in hindsight, you wouldn't. You have to have a subscription to it.
Yeah.
But it is 2 or 3 months later it appears on there.
Yes.
Which is when I'm pre-ordering comics, I go, can I wait 2 months to read this, or do I have to read it now?
Yes. Right.
Will I be spoiled? And I think that's a lot of readers that at least sign up and like to read comics digitally.
Right.
But, all right. We did cons, didn't we? So we went around the room for cons. So if there's nothing else, let me go to the next issue. If I should have had that pulled up before I made the awkward segue. Okay, let's see here. By the way, anybody excited Madam Mask is the main baddie? This X-Men villain? I mean, this Iron Man villain?
I had literally no clue who she was until this event.
JR, were you familiar with this baddie?
Yeah, I mean, I knew who Madam Mask was because my my brother actually got a few old. I had my brother bought when we were younger. He bought a wide variety of comic books, and he bought some Iron Man with Madam Mask and what was the redhead, Bethany McCabe or whatever. But that was when Madam Mask was Whitney Frost. I didn't realize that Whitney Frost was Italian. But I guess that must have been
that was back in the good Iron Man days. Bob Layton and David Michelinie back in the 80s. That was some good stuff. And John Romita Jr. Well, there you go. There's the connection, John Romita Jr. All right, JR, you have issue number 938, sir.
All right.
Take me through this, JR.
So all the heroes and all the villains have gathered in Central Park, and at least they get down to business without taking a roll call like they do in Secret Wars. So, so anyway, so Tombstone.
Hi, I'm She-Hulk. Hi, I'm Elektra. Hi, I'm Spidey. Hi, I'm Madam Mask. Hi, I'm JR.
So tune in April when we talk about Secret Wars on Spider History, and we'll go through the roll call. Not only do the heroes do a roll call, but the villains do a roll call as well. So anyway, so Tombstone and the Beatles forces temporarily teamed up with Spider-Man's guest stars. Who he brought in to overshadow himself. But Tombstone decides it's time to change up the game, and they're all gonna pull out. And then I didn't realize this, but we also have a female trapster as well. So
let me get you a picture of her.
I mean,
there she is.
I like female supervillains. I like female superheroes, regardless of what the powers that be say that we don't like women in these roles. We do like women in these roles, but we like women as original characters, not as just knockoffs or replacement for men. You got
two people in that panel right there that are female versions of male characters. I call her Elektra.
Yeah, no, JR, this is an original character because it's Trapster. There's no E.
Oh
wow! There you go.
And when she comes to the party, she's got a little trap music going in the background. When she shows
I thought Canadians were slow. Boy, you were quick on the draw on that one. I didn't notice that.
Oh, the trapster.
That is. It's like, where are the editors then? Holy cow!
No, I think that's intentional, man.
That's a really good catch.
That's got to be intentional, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure they do make a joke about that back when these guys first showed up during Nick Spencer's run, when they had their first kind of team up there. She was like, purposely, she's like, no, I'm different. I'm Trapster without the E.
Hornacek says Trapster appeared in the first ASM issue of Gang War and then was gone until this issue. So,
wow. I didn't even remember she was there. So,
yep. All right.
Trapster.
Yeah.
All right, so Madam Web.
Madam Web saw you doing that blunder.
It's on the brain. So Madam Mask forces, including AIM the toothpaste, or not the toothpaste, but the scientific bad guys, they're zapping Spidey and they start overwhelming him. But then Mayor Luke Cage enters the fray along with Spider-Boy and Jackpot. All right, so Silvermane is pulverizing Spidey, keeping him.
Take a look at Spider-Boy and Jackpot here.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
You got it, Ms. Jackpot. That's kind of cute. That's kind of cute. So Silvermane is just pulverizing Spider-Man, keeping him down so Madam Mask can eventually finish him off. When Shotgun, no longer under Madam Mask control, shoots the signally things off Silvermane and Count Nefaria that Madam Mask was using to control them. And then Jackpot and She-Hulk, being girl bosses, because of course they are, save Spidey in his own damn book, because of course they do, because he's such an ineffectual superhero. So Spider-Man squares off against Madam Mask, gets in a little boring speech, before...
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. The line I like, she saves him in his own damn book because of course she does. Not the plot demanded it. Of course she does. Bravo to you, sir. Bravo. All right.
So,
you
Spidey
shot my friend.
Yeah, Spidey gives this bullshit little speech, and it's not even worthy of us. This event is not even worthy of a speech.
You're not worthy. We're not worthy.
It's not like it's not like Peter Parker's Spider-Man 75, where Peter tells Norman how he's never gonna beat him. Never gonna. He's always gonna come back.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down, Norman. Never gonna run around and hurt you.
Oh God, where's George? I need George. I don't have the energy to keep slapping you down. I need.
You
George.
think that matters?
Well, anyway, so Madam Mask is easily defeated by one of the oldest tricks in Spidey's book, filling up her gun or whatever she's got with web shooters, causing it to backfire, blowing up in her face, and then Spider-Man drags her back to his crew, and they've won the battle. And Spider-Man says, "Boy, glad I beat her. She scared the webs off me." So, closing. Go back.
Hold on. Where do you want me to go?
Well, where he's dragging Madam Mask back into the group.
Okay, here we got dragging, and then
now look, bring it close up.
Oh,
he's got no webs.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I thought you were talking about. I zoomed in on She-Hulk's booty. I apologize.
No. I said,
There you go.
she scared the webs off me, and sure enough, something must have.
Oh, yeah, scared the webs off me. Sorry, I got distracted by She-Hulk booty.
Oh my God.
Well, you must have loved episode 3 then with Megan Thee Stallion. All right, so, and look, coincidentally,
sorry, Mr. Comics, my mouse.
Yeah, he doesn't discriminate. He checks out both male and female. But
that's true. I do check out spider booty. Accidentally. Okay. Anyway,
and then in order to remind readers that the reach of this turd story goes far beyond Amazing Spider-Man, Iron Fist and Shang-Chi show up. And Danny's whining like a little bitch. No one noticed me. No one praised me. No one gave me cookies and ice cream and crackers. Boo hoo hoo. And then, Mayor Cage reminds him, Danny, you got bigger problems. You're going to be replaced by a girl in the MCU. No wonder I dropped your whiny little ass as a partner. And then Cage.
Hey, JR, you're making stuff up.
No. And if this Shang-Chi was the real Shang-Chi from the 1970s, who was based on badass Bruce Lee, who had the evil Fu Manchu as his father, and not this shadow of a real kung fu fighter who hangs around with Aquafina,
that's
Bruce
the
Lee
water. That's water, Aquafina.
Bruce Lee would not be seen with Aquafina. I mean, just it's like, I remember watching Shang-Chi movies. Like Shang-Chi was Bruce Lee. This guy is not Bruce Lee. Anyway, all right. So anyway, whine. Iron Fist whines, but we're not going to have to listen to his whining because he's going to be replaced by a girl. Okay, now we find out, but Mayor Fisk, or not Mayor Fisk, but Bear Cage says, hey, the Fisk law has been repealed. All right. And so then the scene switches to Peter visiting a comatose Randy, or he believes he's comatose, okay? And he fills us in on the backstory of how the law got repealed, about how the people lined up, they protested, they rose and demanded action, they called the city council, and the police union got involved. And I'm thinking, when? When? And not only that, but considering how little time has passed, it's like so the people were able to take to the streets. They were able to call the city council. The city council was able to get together. They were able to draw up and pass legislation. All in this, wow, that's even faster than, that's even more impressive than the president of the United States repealing the Superhuman Registration Act during Civil War when he's not constitutionally allowed to do such a thing.
Okay, hold on, JR. We have chat saying Walter just came here to watch JR's face turn purple while he rants. Yeah. Walter also wants to know, did you take your heart meds?
I don't have heart meds. I have blood pressure meds. I have blood sugar meds. I have, I have antipsychotic meds.
Oh my God.
But I don't have heart meds. But then again, for me to be able to take heart meds, I don't want to take heart meds because it would probably make my heart grow three times the size, and I really don't want to do that. So anyway,
we have a new poster, Pokey Fam. When all the villains were in the park, the rest of the city calmed down and they could work. There you go. Right. That's why we all did it in Central Park. That's why we gotta go back.
No, here's what really happened. The people wanted the superheroes to come back on duty because they realized that with Texas shipping all the migrants up to New York, that they needed the superheroes to take care of the migrants instead of the supervillains. So, Eric Adams said the city was in crisis. He said it. It's on TV. The city's in crisis. So
you forgot to talk about Jackpot and Spider-Boy.
Well, because I wasn't interested in talking about Jackpot.
All righty then. All
right. I want to go back to Peter and Randy because Peter, he leans in to Randy. He draws in for a hug. And then look at that one panel where he's drawing in for a kiss, Oh,
hold on. We got to grow. Is he drawing in for a kiss here?
He's drawing in for a kiss.
Oh,
no, he's
up, no, not yet. I'm gonna give you mouth to mouth.
Not yet. You go another. Yeah, see, he's drawing in for a kiss.
Like, nope.
That's a little bit too close for comfort.
Too close for comfort.
Yikes!
Yikes! I'm don't kiss me.
I was about to say, if I was Randy and Peter was that close, I'd say, "What the hell? Get the hell away!"
In that context, that looks kind of awkward.
But you never know. Maybe this is something. Maybe Peter felt a surge. Feelings of a love that dare not speak its name. See, he's going in. He's going in.
He gave him a kiss. All right, whatever.
And so
whatever they want to do.
Then Randy asked about Janice, and then Peter says, "Screw Janice and screw Mary Jane. Randy, we don't need those women. In fact, we don't need any women. We have each other." And before it gets any steamier, we switch to Tombstone.
Hold on. I like what Randy says. Hey, how did it end? Oh, pretty gnarly double cross. We escaped with the syndicate. That was 52 issues, Peter, and you summed it up in 2 sentences. So what? Something like so many issues. Oh my God.
So we go to White Rabbit and Tombstone, and the war is over. Tombstone has won. He's a king in New York, the A number 1, just like Isaac Hayes, and. That's a movie reference, folks.
No, I got it.
Okay. All right. But and so White Rabbit says, well, yeah, I mean, you won, but people, they're going to remember you've teamed up with Spider-Man, and they're going to, think you're a little wussy that needed help. And Tombstone says, oh, I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to pay him back by beating him to death in public because Zeb Wells needs to write more torture porn. So
wait a minute. Does the
anyway,
say that? No, I think you made that up. Okay. So JR,
I didn't make it up. I just kind of read between the lines and enhanced. I brought more context into the story. Okay, so added more color. So anyway, the end. Can't wait till next issue's astounding feat of media.
Hold on, JR. There's a lot of yellow pages. Hold on. A lot of yellow pages. Look at all this. And don't forget the yellow pages on the front. Hold on.
Do we really need another page that just said Tombstone? Yeah.
We got
the point
here.
We read the damn story. We got the point. He won. Okay.
We got this one. And then we got a whole bunch of yellow pages at the end. It's like the yellow pages. We're looking for phone numbers now.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So, JR, what is your grade?
D.
D? Okay. Josh, what is your grade, sir?
A D.
D. All right. Christina, your grade.
I went up and I gave it a C plus.
Oh, geez.
So
it's her opinion, JR.
I said it's entitled. So
I know, but I just kind of feel sorry for her. You're
sorry for yourself. How dark your soul is, JR.
Hey, I sold that a long time ago to my father-in-law. Okay.
Oh my Lord. Good Lord. Sold my soul to my father-in-law. This one was not as good as the previous one. C- out of me. I've got a little bit more hope than JR does.
Yeah, it's not hard to beat.
No. All right. Let's see what the chat says for grades here. We got maybe a C plus, overall a C, says upon the horizon. Mr. Comics gave this one a B minus. A minus with my letter. Oh, Mr. Comics, you in it? Let's take a look. Yeah, there you are. Yep. Right there. Wait a minute. Is it Matt Roberts? That's it, isn't it? Yes, I think that's right. We got 2 pages of letter columns here. Hey, let's see. Well, there you go. So, congrats on getting a letter in there. So you are, how many of you had in there, Mr. Comics?
Have you beat Chi-Town yet?
Yeah, have you beaten Chi-Town? And Bruce has been in there a lot too. Matt is giving it an F minus. I am giving this an opportunity at an F minus. Okay. SoFlo gave it a B. Started promising, then went down. I give this a big F because holy shoot. Oh, thanks for editing. This entire event was bad and made no sense whatsoever. Let's see. What else we got? I remember when the yellow pages were actually something useful.
yeah.
Walter says someone gave this story finally some context. So there you go. Let's see. Don't forget the big tombstone on the map. Yep. Zeb Wells has really made Tombstone a top villain to me. Love him. I think the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon made Tombstone a little bit better of a badass more than
the voice of Keith David.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
That's
Peter McNulty says Peter is showing more emotion than Randy got out of his coma when he found out Mary Jane is still alive in the Mayan apocalypse. Just saying.
McNulty, you nailed it.
I got you. Yeah.
See, I'm not the only one who sees it.
Mary says reminds me of that Mark Miller Spider-Man Hospital issue. What was that one? I'm not sure what that was referencing to. I remember when Peter was in the coma and Felicia and MJ came by and they were in their costumes. I remember that one. Let's see.
Of course you do.
I do. This would have been a better story if it had been MJ shot and hospitalized instead of Randy. This near kiss scene would have worked better. I think the stakes would have been higher. And you would have more Spider-Man. I think you'd have more Spider-Man dialogue, I think. Tevia says, what did Randy do in this event? Well, he started it. He started it, right? Because of the protesting and something like that. JR is killing it on the recap, Michael.
Thank you,
let's see. Rush Hour did better fight scenes than Shang-Chi.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's see. What else we got? Ryan Reed, Spider-Boy showing up is like that episode of The Simpsons where Bart is like, look at me, I'm doing something. Same with Danny and Shang-Chi.
Yeah, those two are in the event. I kind of forgot about that entirely. They didn't show up until this part, right?
Yeah.
Well, weren't they? Wasn't the Master Kung Fu? Wasn't Iron Fist in that? I didn't read that one, but
like they weren't in Amazing Spider-Man at any point.
No. They were in that side book, the Mighty Hands of Kung Fu, or Mighty Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. I guess another development is that Mary Jane as Jackpot is now one of Marvel's new quote heavy hitters. All right. Let's do. Oh, wait, hold on. I went through chat. So now we got to do pros. JR, what's your pros?
Well, even though Spidey lost his had his web scared off of him, at least there were no lopsided goons, and there were no women whose nostrils look like electrical outlets. So that's
who had an electrical outlet nose?
Don't you in the issue when he and the Black Cat were in the mountains or whatever, or I don't know, but it was a Black Cat issue, and like her nose literally looked like it was an electrical plug.
Oh, I think that was a Terry Dodson. I think I remember that one. Yeah. Josh, pros out of you, sir.
Hornacek took mine in the chat. Pro, this event is over.
That's what I said too.
Hornacek beat all of you.
Yeah.
ASM reviewer on the front page.
The next one starts in 2 months.
Well, what's the next one?
Blood Hunt. That's in May, right?
Oh, yeah, that's not a Spider-Man, though.
The one that you talked about extensively and the one that you brought up all the issues.
That's an Avengers event, not Spider-Man.
It showed everybody. That one, Brad.
Hush. Christina, what's your pro besides the event is over?
I liked his dialogue that he had with Madame Mask about everybody who, when she gets hurt and stuff, it's her, and then this Fisk loss finally over and stuff, and it was
Christina. Do you think that matters? Sorry.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing something out there at this point. But it was better than Dark Web, so.
It was. And Dark Web, how long ago was Dark Web? Was that back in November-ish? So what do we average every quarter? Like quarter one and quarter two, quarter three, or are we doing twice a year these events? Because what did we have? We had Dark Web at the end of quarter four.
Yeah.
Did we have one before last year that was big, like Dark Web? Spider-Man related? I don't think
know. So I only remember Dark Web and then this one.
Okay, so are they doing these events once a year then?
Right. That's what I think.
Group titles, like Spider-Man is getting one. So anyway, let's see. We had pros out of Christina. We had pros out of Josh. Now, JR, let me hear your cons. Lay it in. I think you've already vented, but you got any more under the hood?
I was about to say, I don't know that I
hear everybody clear
anymore.
We're going to revive them for more hatred.
It's one of those things where it's a big event, and we're back really where I don't know. I guess the law being repealed, but we're all still in the same place for the most part. I mean, we didn't learn anything new about Spider-Man. We didn't learn anything new about any of his villains. It was just, like Josh said, an action figure, beat down, just a kid putting his action figures.
Do you think that matters, JR? They're selling books here, man. Do you think that matters?
I mean, nothing happens. No big subplot is resolved. I mean, I don't give a shit that Tombstone now is the king in New York, the A number one. You know, I mean, I never liked Tombstone. You know,
you don't even like A1 on your steak. I mean,
never liked the. You know, but I guess he's better now than he was when he was that creepy version that Jerry Conway used to write in Spectacular many years ago. But
and aren't you admiring the artwork on this? I mean, this is beautiful yellow pages over here.
I was about to say Manhattan Island looks a little bit. I don't know. It's a little spooky looking there.
This one actually has 26 pages in it. Josh, you're my mathematician.
All right.
We got $5 divided by 26. How much is that a page?
That is so that yellow page that shows Tombstone costs.
I got about a bunch of yellow pages. Tell me about this.
So each page is 19.23 cents. So how many yellow pages do we have?
We got one. Let's see. 2. I don't mind the letter columns though. 2, 3, 4, and then I got to go back all the way to the front. Okay. 4, 5. This is a double page. 6, 7. Do the math. How much is wasted yellow pages?
So of our $5, $1.35 is going towards the yellow pages.
Wow, that is wasteful. I mean, come on. I'll even give them the letters pages. I'll give them the letter pages. But my God,
by 7 times 5. Even with the letter pages gone, it's still 96 cents towards.
It's a buck a page. Is that what we're gathering? A buck a yellow page?
Buck yellow pages, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Let's see. Josh, cons, what do we got? Besides the extra yellow pages that are
I mean, like I like Tombstone. I thought this story was actually really good for him, but again, this is not the Amazing Tombstone, and it's not even the Amazing Spider-Man though. At this point, it's the Amazing if he shows up in his own book, man. Like,
absolutely,
it's shocking that we got so much Spider-Man towards the end compared to some of the previous ones. But the ending sort of reminded me a lot of Superior Foes of Spider-Man, because at the end of that whole thing, they have each member there has their own, like they're in a gang together, and then they all have their like separate gangs. And actually Tombstone shows up in that one at the end there, and you have Shocker gets his own people there, and you got Overdrive gets his own people, and they have like a mini gang war there, and that was so much more entertaining and actually had repercussions towards the end there, rather than this one. It's like JR said, it's like, yeah, the law got repealed, but like, did that stop any of the heroes anyways? Like we still had a Spider-Man comic. We still had a Captain America. Yeah. So it wasn't stopping anyone. And now we just have Tombstone with, is the kingpin of Manhattan now.
How is the book different? How is our character different after this?
You tell me.
I mean, anyone is. How is our hero different? Or what?
He has feelings for Randy now.
The problem is, it's not. He's kind of still in the same position that he's been in. I think, other than the stuff with Rabin resolved and stuff, I mean, he's still kind of in the same thing. And we never, like I said, we talked about it continuously. They never really showed anything about dealing with the sins of the stuff with Norman Osborn and stuff like that, and what Peter could have done after that and stuff. We didn't even get to see stuff like that. So he's still kind of in the same position. Nothing really changed. So,
are there any other cons, Josh?
It's just not a progressive story. Like we're all saying how like nothing happened, but like Christina was saying, well, what's happening to Norman Osborn? What's happening with like the sins that Norman Osborn got back? What about Spider-Man dealing with the repercussions of the sins? Like, because of these events that are always happening, it's so hard to have any progressions in stories, because it's like, wait, hold on, we got to stop. We have a vampire event, and hold on, we got a giant gang war event. There's just it's oversaturating it.
The next two issues are dealing with Aunt Anna in the mental ward or whatever because of her X-Men drug she took.
Right, because she tried to stab Peter with a steak knife, and like that was a thing so long ago. That was what, November of last year.
I know it was an annual. I think.
Yes.
Yes. Book. So, and that's JR. We've been doing this podcast for nearly 20 years. Did you ever think I would say, hey, we need to figure out what happened to Aunt Anna when she took the X-Men drug? Did you ever think we'd say that?
It really wasn't. It really was not. Really wasn't on my mind as a subplot I wanted to see. Oh, is that the subplot that the preview issue says was a thread that was from an old issue that I think one of the future issues says that they pick up a thread that you didn't realize existed in the early part of the
JR, it just so happens. Hold on, I will help answer that question for you. Hold on. If you go to this website, it's called Spider-Man Crawlspace. You can see previews of the next issue. So let's just look at the issues together, JR. We got, it's just one recap page. So we have guest art, by the way. We have a guest artist, and they change costumes out in the woods. Let's take a look here. And they have a little dialogue out. Hey, Mary Jane. Shh, it's Jackpot while I'm working. It's Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Whoa.
You remember that song? Remember Nasty by Janet Jackson? Okay. Anyway, they start changing clothes out in the middle of the backwoods here.
Okay, now this might be interesting.
No. Then we cut to the...
Oh, they put more clothes on.
Yeah. JR wants a brown chicken, brown cow over here. We got Cletus Cassidy over here with Aunt Anna. No, that just looks like Mexican French. Anyway, hey, were you just talking to Whirlwind, Aunt Anna? Evidently, that's Whirlwind, the villain. His name is David. He's such a nice man. Not everyone had the same opportunities you did, Peter. That's sweet, Aunt Anna, but we're worried about you. We feel so much better if you were back home. That's what's coming up next in Amazing Spider-Man. Thoughts?
I don't care.
You all, the dead ass silence.
Maybe
wow.
Maybe the Spider historian can answer this for me, but I know Aunt Anna from the '90s show where she just hates Peter Parker.
Yep.
Has that always been a thing in the comics too?
No. That was a '90s cartoon thing. So
yeah.
And that was Mrs. Stan Lee, wasn't it? Wasn't she the voice of? Oh no, that was Madam Web.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
It was Mrs. Jean Roddenberry, Major Barrett.
Majel Barrett, yes, #1 from Star Trek. Yeah. Anyway, not much interest in that. All right. Did we go through cons on everybody? Okay.
Sure.
The one I had that was not mentioned was Jackpot showing up and saving Spider-Man, who's down on the ground, and taking on Count Nefario. First of all, she has no powers with the exception of her little ray gun thing on her wrist. It just seems so far from the Mary Jane I like. And again, in chat has been talking about how Ultimate Spider-Man is presenting a different Mary Jane, a different Peter Parker. That's the one I like. Supportive hero, not the one showing the hero up. I mean, I don't mean to be sexist. I mean, she has amazing abilities too.
Yeah,
but
when we had an Amazing Mary Jane book, she's the star of that book because it's the Amazing Mary Jane.
Absolutely. But
we don't have the Amazing Spider-Man having Spider-Man as the main character in his own book now.
Exactly. And we did the math. We're not getting much Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man book. Anyway. So, chat, what do we got? We're going to wrap it up in a few minutes. We're going to go to Patreon in a little bit, but let's see if you got some questions for us before we wrap this show up. Matt says, all this repetitiveness comes from the utterly stupid creator known as Quesada since his grand plan called One More Day. So you think that's where it started, Matt? That's where it went south. Looks like Peter is in the book for more than 5 panels on that preview, says Walter. So there you go. Zach is in chat, says John Simper, who did the Spider-Man 90s show, hated Aunt May. Okay. Let's see. Then Anna tells Peter to check his male privilege. The amazingly absent Spider-Man is the adjective for the book now. Let's see what else we got. There's a Simpsons episode where at the end Lisa's trying to figure out the moral of the story, and they say there's no moral. It's just a bunch of stuff that happened. That's gang war. That sounds about right. JR Fett, what the hell are you doing in chat? You're on the show. What is it?
Well, people ask us questions, and I try to like answer them because so people don't think they're being blown off. But
I'm surprised Jared could figure out how to get YouTube on his phone.
After I figured out how to use Apple Pay, then I went.
There it is.
He still had the rotary. Do the URL with a rotary. Why won't Marvel cancel the main ASM book with Ultimate Spider-Man outselling? Well, first of all, Tevia, all right, this is my theory. They're not going to cancel the Amazing Spider-Man book. They will cancel Ultimate Spider-Man before they will. Mm-hmm. Amazing Spider-Man is the ongoing 60-year-old book. DC is not going to cancel Batman and Detective or Action Comics. Marvel is not going to cancel Amazing Spider-Man and Fantastic Four. And, well, they did cancel Uncanny X-Men. But they're not going to cancel those. They just continuously will reboot it, and they'll try to get a new team on it. What will possibly happen is they may say, hey, Jonathan Hickman, you're outselling Amazing Spider-Man. Hey, Mark Cicchetto, you're outselling Amazing Spider-Man. Why don't you help over onto the big book? Let's see what you can do. That's what is more likely to happen than cancel. So, Hornacek. Yes, they did, but I blame Dan Slott for that. You forgot that Marvel canceled Amazing and replaced it. Now, technically, Hornacek, it was delayed. Kind of like in the 90s when they recalled it Web of Scarlet Spider and Web of Amazing Scarlet Spider, whatever it is. So, yeah. Okay, I see it. They're not canceling it, though. It's still going. JR was using 2 cans and some string last year. He's come a long way. How did Spider-Boy jump in? He was in a Marvel Unlimited Infinity comic. Presumably, that's how it tied in, is what...
Yeah, it's so weird how we have I was reading on some of all the Spider-Man comics today, and there's this universe 616 Peter Parker is an Amazing Spider-Man. He's in Spider-Boy, he's in Superior Spider-Man, and he's in Spectacular Spider-Man. Yes. Not even saying based off of how good each book is or whatnot. It's so hard to all this stuff is happening at the same time. It doesn't seem believable. Of he and Miles are getting coffee on Wednesdays, but Miles is also mad at him in this book for a while. But then he and Miles are also helping Spider-Boy, and it's just so.
Here's the thing: back in the 80s, as we always pine, JR. Back in the 80s, they actually attempted to make sense of it. Mm-hmm. They tried to have a cohesive universe where if it's snowing in New York with Thor. It would be snowing in the Spider-Man New York. They tried to make it one big universe. I think Jim Shooter made sure of that back in the day. I think there's fewer staff possibly that are turning these books out. And also, I don't know what they're having the editors do, but it's not talk to the other editors. Hey, is it snowing in New York and Thor? All right. Hey, artists, can you draw some snow? Hey, is Spider-Man, what's he doing in Amazing? Oh, he's going to be in Miles too? Okay, make sure the costume's ripped right here. They don't care. They don't care. And it makes you not want to buy all these books because, they don't feel like they're all one universe. They're a bunch of little sub-satellite books.
Yeah.
Is what I feel personally, but that's just my 2 cents.
It may not even be possible these days. I mean, probably nobody works in New York. They work all over the country and, send the stuff in at various times. And, it's always, we always point out what a lousy job they're doing, but it just could be now it's reached such a critical mass with all the titles and stuff. It's not humanly possible. And they don't care anymore. They don't care.
I agree.
It's literally, I think, playing musical chairs until the music stops. Let's just keep it going. And, one day the music will stop, but until then, let's just crank it out.
I agree. Let's see. I want to tease this before I forget about it. Coming up over on Patreon. Speaking of spider satellites we were talking about, we're going to review a few of these. Some of these we're saving until next month. Sarah and Kelly, unfortunately, can't join us. So we're going to save some Secret Wars and Spider-Gwen. But we got Superior Spider-Man. We're going to review Spider-Boy. That Ultimate Spider-Man comic everyone's talking about. Our friend George Berriman is going to be joining us to review the second issue of Ultimate Spider-Man. Was it good? Was it not? We will find out. What if the She-Hulk got the symbiote? We'll review that one. We've also got Tyler's going to join us with Venom and Carnage reviews. We got a couple issues of Miles Morales we're going to tackle, and that will be on patreon.com/crawlspace if you'd like to listen. We would love to have you over here, so please join us there. What is chat saying? We got George. Oh, they're chanting. They're chanting his name. He's going to, if you say it too many times, it'll appear right here. He's like Beetlejuice. So, all right, final thoughts. Christina, what do you got?
Well, we'll see where this story leads. I know that we're going to be getting some Norman Osborn stuff coming up in the months. So
issue 50.
Yeah, that's stuff to look forward to, and I've really been digging Ultimate Spider-Man myself, so I'm excited to continue that, and we'll just have to see where these next bunch of issues take us. So,
no doubt. All right, final thoughts, Josh.
What I've always wanted in my Spider-Man comic is to see Mary Jane Watson's aunt go into an insane asylum after taking X-Men pills. Finally, it's coming into my book. I can't wait for next month.
Yay.
What did you take to say that?
The same thing that Aunt Anna took.
Oh my gosh, man! You took that. What do they call that? The Roku? No, Roku. What's the island called? The Roku Island. Cocoa. That's it. Cocoa. Roku. Whatever. Roku. It's not called X-Men Crawlspace. I'll tell you right now. All right. To Neil's detriment, evidently. JR, final thoughts, sir.
Turn your clocks ahead 1 hour, folks. It's daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, we got Tevia wants to know: is issue 50 the end of Zeb Wells' run?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I've heard.
We haven't had a solicitation past that, have we?
No.
So there you go. That may be it. That I don't know.
I doubt it. I think they would have announced. Because that's really not very far away. Issue number 51 is not very far away, is it?
Not the next solicits. The next solicits will be. We will find out if Zeb Wells is on it. That might be a good way to end it. I don't know. I mean, for him to go out on a big double-sized $10, 15 pages of yellow. Well,
green.
Jonathan. Oh yeah, green. Jonathan Hickman is notorious for those info pages too, by the way. For having the text pages and stuff like that, which I'm not a big fan of. But anyway. All right. If you want to catch more of us talking about those Spider Satellite books, be sure to join us. You don't want to miss that Ultimate Spider-Man review coming up in about 20 minutes. We will see everybody there.